Let's cover what Derrick Lewis said at the end of the fight. He won. He knocked Travis Browne out. It was a pretty brutal knockout. And before we get to the fight, he's standing there in the post-fight interview with Brian Stan.
Yes.
And he asked him about holding his stomach, and I think he said, I got to make it number 2. He stood in the ring and basically said, I have to shit, and I got to take some time off. I've been getting so much sex lately. He's the best. He's just, every time he opens his mouth, I want to hug him. He's the fucking greatest. But that's a post-fight interview. I've never actually been juiced about a post-fight interview, except for Diaz. I'm not surprised, motherfucker. That was probably the greatest quote. Okay,
that was classic.
But how awesome was that fight? I told Harley before we started today. I saw Lewis grabbed his stomach, and it reminded me of and you gave me the name Randleman when Crow Cop kicked him in the stomach or the chest. He grabbed his stomach and he fell back. That's the only time I've ever seen a fighter do that, where you grab your stomach. And he actually turned away from Travis Browne and kind of retreated back to the cage. And you think it might have been a broken...
I don't know. I'm saying maybe he cracked a rib or some shit, you know?
What did you think that was?
Well, he's hurt other people with that front kick.
Oh, it's brutal.
I got to watch some of this. I forgot who he hurt exactly with that. But he's used that before.
Yeah.
And he's good with that. And he was looking for... I don't want to say because look, Derrick was on here with us too. He was on the show, and he was definitely a nice guy. And the same thing, he's an entertaining interview.
Yeah.
But Travis, I kind of felt for him where he had a great first round, phenomenal first round. Even at the end of it, he kind of grilled him at the end of it. He was so in that fight. He looked mentally ready.
He was fast. He was staying away from him with kickings.
And then he got caught. Now, you could never say, why would a guy do that? Because you don't know where his head's at. You don't know if his brains are scrambled at that point. He's trying to get his wits. So when he got hit, I forgot what it was because there was a barrage. But he started to get away, and then he stood. With boxing gloves, you can get away with a little bit more with covering up. But you can't just cover up against the cage. And now look, I don't want to get on the guy. I'm not attacking him because who knows if he might have been more hurt than you even know right there. But like Ray would if you can't tie a guy up, and this dude's a hard guy to tie up, you got to get on the bicycle. You got to just get on your feet and do that footwork. I remember getting ready for these fights. Longo would be like, all right, on your footwork, one way. Every time that bell rings, 30 seconds the other way, and you just get used to it'll buy you some time to get your
head back, right?
Yeah, get your wits amongst.
Do you think? I think it was either Brian Stan or the guy announcing him said that he might be trying to get him to punch himself out, but it was like he's hitting him too hard, and he's drilling his own arms into his head. There's no way he's trying to get him to punch himself. I think he was just stunned. He got rocked.
You got a guy 262 and throwing it could go through, it could hit on the arms and it'll still get through with these little gloves, and you can't cover up like that.
When did Lewis wind up on top of him? Was that in the first round? Lewis wound up on top of him at one point, and he didn't do much damage. He dropped a couple elbows.
Second,
it was in the second.
I think it was the second round.
It was the second round. Okay,
and it pained me to see some of the stuff on the floor that you see how Michael was saying before that he sees ways to get up, and he's watching. Michael Bisping was on the phone saying how he sees ways to get up, and it's right there. Mm-hmm. I seen him with that underhook, and even at my heaviest, when I get a guy on top of me, sometimes I'll be in a full guard and I'll have my underhooks, like you see, and I'll let one side drop, so a guy goes to half guard, and he makes it hard for me to get to his back, but I could always get up from there with one underhook. When you have an underhook on the floor, and you've been and you know how to use it, you could if you don't get to the guy's back, you at least could get up to your knees and your feet. You know what I mean? Yeah. If you go for the back the correct way. He had an underhook. He got up. He did get out, but he got out kind of square with him, and it was taxing with a guy that size. If you're going and you're scooting your butt, if I have an underhook and I'm scooting my butt out and below his knee towards his butt, it's gonna be hard for that guy to follow you. And if not, if the guy's got there's ways to pull his ankle out and pelvis forward and get that leg that's trapped between his legs out. Stuff that, again, this is stuff that I see and I'm like, oh, if you only knew that, that's a game changer, man. You know? So again, listen, hindsight's always 20/20, but I'd love to show him that. You know, and Mario Yamasaki was my first ref. I know the guy forever. I mean, the guy was my ref in my very first UFC fight. He ref plenty of my fights. He's a very good ref. It's the hardest job there is, being a ref. And now, at the very end of that fight, Jimmy, you a little too slow.
Without a doubt, too slow.
Maybe two. See, one punch when you're already not defending yourself with a guy that size, that could shorten your career. That could shorten your life.
Yeah.
Like a guy that size. I mean, so he's right there, and you want to give the guy every second.
Yeah, it's so hard.
But when you see the guy, I mean, I don't know.
It was a terrible stoppage. But and on the flip side, there
Two
was
bad shots in there, man.
the Marshman stoppage. Marshman thought was too early. He got taken out by that spinning kick. It was against Thiago Santos. And
I believe that was too early.
He felt it was too early.
I feel it was also because the guy always had his wits. He hit the floor. It was dynamic, and the guy jumped on, and Thiago jumped on top of him. Maybe landed a punch, but he never stopped moving. He never stopped moving, and the ref jumped in. He was talking to him, and so that was
a little premature, maybe.
Marshman. Marshman had his moments in the fight. That first round, holy shit, man! He had Thiago seeing some birds around his head. He was in. Again, that's why we watch the sport. It's so entertaining. I mean, it can go one way, just like with Travis. That's two guys that won a first round, and then the second round, it's over, man. You know, but I agree that was a little premature.
And did you see Gavin Tucker made his? I think he was 8-0, and now he's 9-0. His UFC debut against Sam Cecilia, who pretty much said that he was going to put him on the ground and tap him in the first round.
He did say,
and
that.
Literally at one point it was a 30-3 significant strike advantage for Gavin Tucker. He was awesome. Third round, he started to get caught a little bit. It was almost like he got a little too comfortable, and he I think was trying to enjoy the moment a little too much. And he's lucky he didn't get put out. But that was a dominating performance.
I enjoyed that fight, and I thought that this Gavin Tucker, man, I'll tell you right now, for a debut, and he's fighting a tough guy with Sam Cecilia.
Yeah,
that guy has put guys to sleep with his hands before.
Well, they said his opponents had like a record of like 39-46 or some losing record, and the guys he had fought in Halifax. I think he was a Halifax guy.
Look, well, I mean, that's the thing. So maybe you're thinking, all right, this is a major. A big jump in levels, you know.
Right.
That's what people might be afraid of. But I'll tell you right now, this guy, this Gavin Tucker, well-rounded, just landing from leg kicks to combinations. I mean, the guy was all over the place.
Everything,
footwork,
everything.
It hit the floor one time, and he did a beautiful takedown, and he went right away for a leg lock, which, I mean, again, it has I have mixed feelings about that. It was beautiful the way he set it up, but you're going versus a very explosive guy.
That's why he got the fuck out of there quickly.
I don't know if the guy got. It looked awesome.
Yeah,
but the guy got away.
Yeah.
If you would have secured your position more, you could play more of a positional game. It's almost like diving for an arm lock. You get it, great. If you lose it, now you lost the guy. So when you go for those leg locks, it's one thing in submission grappling when, all right, now we're agreeing to grapple. In MMA, you don't have to agree to grapple. You know what I mean?
Right.
So guy gets out of a leg lock. All right, he goes back in submission grappling. Harley's the latest craze of the leg locks. Get close, motherfucker.
Yeah, no, that's the thing nowadays.
Yeah.
Is
and it's not,
grappling.
and I'm not hating on it. One of my guys, Jason Rao, he's taking legs like nobody's business. He's in the city a lot now, working with Danner and
I see those. All the time.
Man, but and I'm not hating it because it's beautiful. They're taking those leg locks to another level, but. It's great when you're on bottom because you're already on bottom. I went for number one way, me on bottom in the UFC, getting on top, I'd attack the legs. Jeff Curran, Shoney Carter, Yves Edwards, I use this all on the cage. And I get out clean. I never got fucked up because they'd be worried about me taking their leg off. They give me enough space, I'm getting on top. Or I'm getting up.
Well, he got up, though. When he realized he didn't have it, he got up and got out of there.
The difference is he went for it when he was on top. He could have stayed on top. He could have fucked him up. He could have got position. If I could have ended, round could have ended with him on top. He went for that chance. And listen, you get it. You're a fucking hero. It's great. But you lose it, which most likely you're going to try to lay down with a leg, at that higher level. And your adrenaline, you're in a cage, man. You getting the fuck out of there. So he lost the leg, but I'm not knocking the guy. The guy, I like the fact that he went for something. And the guy showed a real good skill set. And it was nice. You sensed that he enjoyed every moment of it, like you were saying, Jimmy. And
too much in the third round.
Yeah,
too much.
Exactly. But because he might have, and not for nothing, to give Sam Cecilia and his credit to his corner.
Yeah.
They weren't bullshitting. They were basically saying, dude, what are you doing?
Yeah, you gotta.
They go, now's the time. Yeah, basically, I'm not word for word, but they let him know the urgency that he needed.
Yeah, you're losing.
Round. Fuck yeah. That's what you want to say, man. You can't. I see some guys, and I'm watching some fights, and I know a guy's down, and everybody has to know the guy's down. It's coming to the third round, and the guy in the corner's like, okay, I want you to slip the jab, and I want you to keep. No, you know what now? You know what he needs now? He needs to kick in his fucking ass and say, look, man, you got 5 minutes.
You better finish.
You got 5 minutes.
Put it all out there.
I wish all guys were like Al Iaquinta in the third round. Fucking listen, out of my stable, man, I have some killers. fucking Adelia Quintas got that. I mean, he fought Jorge Masvidal, and he got the W over him, which some people said it should have went the other way. But it came down to that third round, where Masvidal's so talented. And he kind of, in that second round, took his foot off the gas. And I remember Ray Longo saying to me, he let you back in this motherfucker. He let you back in this fight. So he let you back in, you know? And then fucking, we gave a fucking quick Braveheart speech in there, like fucking 5 minutes, dude. 5 minutes. I go, I need you to get zero fucks out there. And he did. He went after this dude.